G'day legends, legendaries. In this video I'm going to go over 7 pieces of advice I would give to my 18-year-old self. I've had a crazy life so far. I've travelled to 43 different countries. I've launched a successful business. I've been an athlete at an international level, and I've also got a master's degree as well. And through all these times I've had some crazy experiences and moments in my life, and these are the 7 things that I would teach myself to be able to go out there, live a life that I would really enjoy, and most importantly, do the things that I really want to get out of life, to be successful, to have fun, to love, and to really just make the most of it. So here are my 7 life lessons for teenagers. Number 1, take risks. Taking risks is like opening so many doors to adventures and stories and opportunities along the way. When you take risks, give yourself a real chance to do so many amazing things. And there's a number of risks I totally struggle with in different areas, and here are 3 of them that I'm going to go through. Asking someone out. Imagine you have a crush on someone, right? And it's pretty scary to think about going and asking them out and doing that kind of stuff, right? Because you feel nervous, don't really know what to do, and they're probably going to say no in your mind. But the worst thing is that they can only really say no. But what's more important, them saying no, or the fact that you tried and actually took a risk to ask them out, even if they're well out of your league? Because one thing I've had is a lot of rejection therapy in my life. I've definitely had more people say no to me than say yes, but when you have one that says yes, that makes up for all the no's along the way. Chasing success. If you have a dream of being rich or successful, you can't always just sit back and wait for it to happen. We need to put ourselves out there. We need to really do the things even if they're intimidating. Like maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, maybe you want to join a competition or present your ideas in front of other people. Each of these steps will involve some kind of risk. But there's opportunities out there that need to have risk before you can get the opportunity. One of the best quotes that I've ever heard was by Viktor Frankl. And he said, "Those who have a why to live can bear through almost any how." And this man survived the Holocaust. So if you really want to achieve it and make an impact on what you're doing, you need to take the risk, and eventually, with a strong enough why, you will get there. And becoming an athlete. I really want to become an athlete, which I did, and when I stopped, I just worked and coaching some of the world's best athletes. And when it comes to being an athlete, one thing I noticed was that if they were going to be great, they had to take risks along the way, and they can't just play it safe. They worked hard, trained for hours, and took risks. And that might require a lot of time to sacrifice and risk missing time with friends and having FOMO. But the most important thing is that they took the risk, they got the reward of working really hard, and therefore were able to do some amazing things when it comes to their career in sport and being an athlete. So all in all, take risks, just go out there and do it, and live the life that you really want to create the opportunities for what you want to do in the future. Number 2, anxiety and excitement are the same emotion, just reframed. When you feel anxious, your heart races, your palms can sweat, and your mind starts to spin with what-if scenarios. It's the same when you're excited. Your heart is also going to race, your palms will sweat, and you can't stop thinking about what is to come. So instead of seeing anxiety as a signal that something bad is going to happen, try to reframe it and think that excitement is about the possibilities of what is ahead. For example, if you're nervous about a big test performance, or if you like Slim Shady, go up on stage and your knees are weak, arms are heavy, then you need to make sure that you are going to reframe it in the right way. That's going to be something amazing. By changing your perspective, you can turn your anxiety into a powerful source of energy and motivation. And just remember, it's all about how you choose to see it. Is it a threat or is it an opportunity? Number 3, people are looking at you less in the bad and actually more in the good. It's easy to feel like everyone is watching and judging every move. I have that all the time, but especially when you're trying something new or stepping out of your comfort zone. But the truth is, people are looking at you less than you think in the bad stuff and more what you think during the good stuff. So take my experience. Last year, I rode a marathon for charity on a rowing machine. I imagined it was going to be a small event, and my dad and a couple of chickens watching me along the way. So actually what happened was that a lot of people actually watched it and got a lot of lovely messages of encouragement, and a lot of people out there who were quite inspired to do other things as well to move in their own direction. They didn't care I was perfect, and they were moved by my dedication and effort more so than the fact that I might fail. So what actually happened is that the more you can actually put yourself out there and do the things which are challenging, people are going to take that as a source of inspiration and not another reason to bring you down. It's all in our head. It's not always going to happen. The most important thing is that you do it anyway, to go out there, improve yourself, and create inspiration for others as well. Because the next time you feel self-conscious, remember that people are less concerned about the details and are more impressed by the commitment. Whether you want to start a new hobby, or speak up in class, or try out for a new team or something like that, you really need to just ensure you're giving your best effort and just go along with the flow and you'll be more surprised by the amount of people who will be inspired even if you don't succeed. Number 4, most things go through a stage of suckiness. When you set out to achieve something great, it often starts with excitement or motivation. You imagine how amazing it's going to be to reach your goal, and in the beginning, everything seems to be going really perfect. But the honest reality is that there's a certain point where things tend to suck. Like for example, doing these videos, I absolutely hated in the start. I sucked a lot, but I'm a lot better now. I'm still not the best I can be, but I've still got a long way to go. The most important thing is I've moved through the sucky stage, and that can happen through a lot of different things. So whether it's about building your first business or learning to go to the gym and lift weights, you're going to get some newfound confidence from the very beginning, get some quick results. But eventually, you're going to get to a point where it's going to plateau, you're going to struggle, and things get a real sucky. And it's only natural for that to happen, which is all part of the journey. It's all about where you have to push through the tough times and stay committed. If you want to make sure you're able to be stronger, earn some more money and things like that. Just accept the small rewards along the way, go through the sucky period, and eventually, before you know it, you'll be blooming, be strong as you're benching 100 kilo, earning lots of money, things like that. The most important thing is the fact that you just must keep pushing through the sucky stage and just accept that on the other side of the sucky stage is where the success really is. But during the sucky stage is where you tend to actually gain the most experience and also get the most value out of yourself. If you don't go through the sucky stage, then you're not going to learn all the valuable lessons along the way, which are going to help you through the tough times and actually enable you to achieve more and become more accomplished. Just about overcoming that obstacle. Number 5, don't wait for the grass to grow before you start watering. So imagine if you decide to plant a garden. You want to sow the seeds and water the soil, and every day nothing seems to happen on the garden. It can be super frustrating. But just like gardening and waiting for plants to grow, waiting for motivation to strike before action is like waiting for grass to grow before you actually started watering. So in my brief experience, when I was really hyped on growing my carrots, as you can see, at the very beginning, nothing was happening. They were just seedlings, right? You just got to keep watering, and just have some faith and patience that things will start to come eventually. Even if you don't see immediate results, just keep nurturing with the same action along the way. And eventually they start to sprout, they start to grow, and that's when you start getting more motivation, when things actually start happening. But at the beginning, it doesn't seem like much is going to happen at all. So when it came to my carrots, they started off very small, couldn't even see them. Eventually, as things started to grow, I started to become more noticeable of it, and then I gave it more attention along the way. But you can't just wait for things to start growing before you start giving the help that it needs. Number 6, don't flip the board playing Monopoly. I'm sure we've all played Monopoly before. It always ends up in absolute disaster between siblings. Some people want to walk out, other people are more than happy to just sit there and enjoy that stressful and awkward moment between each other. But what happens is when you have a game Monopoly, sometimes you land on the most expensive hotel, other times you're renting out to someone else. But the main thing is, you can't flip the board if you're the one that's landing on the expensive hotel. You can't play the victim. Because if you play the victim and blame everyone else for all the bad luck and others that rob you of your power, but just take ownership of your actions and decisions. Avoid saying, why does this happen to me? And instead ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Because like life, like Monopoly, isn't always fair. But that's how you respond to your challenges defines your growth and your resilience. So next time you start thinking about Monopoly and the game of life, stay proactive, take responsibility, and use the setbacks and opportunities as a way to grow and actually get through it. So don't flip that board. Be happy, be friends with each other. It's always going to turn out good in the end. And number 7, life is just a game. Like a game of Monopoly, it's very dynamic, it's ever-changing, and it's full of surprises. But just like in the game, your interests are always going to change. You're going to pursue one thing at one moment and why at the next. But the most important thing is that you just keep playing the game of life, right? Follow your interests, try new things, fail, pick yourself up again, go again. What happens when you die in a game? You just pick yourself up where you left off and then you keep moving forward. But what you should do is make sure you keep gaining new experiences, leveling up in certain areas, and build your skills for the future life. Have fun doing it. Be curious. Ask people questions. Try new things. And just walk up to that random activity, try it out, and you might even love it. The more you can embrace life as a game and have fun with it, the more experiences they're going to open up, the more you're going to enjoy your life, and you'll be more able to go along with the flow without getting frustrated when things start to go wrong. So these are my 7 tips that without a doubt will help you excel far beyond what you've always wanted to. So if you want to get some more life-changing tips for yourself as a teenager, make sure you subscribe to my channel, start following my videos, and you'll see a lot more along the way.